Now I'm going to start broadcasting in a moment. This is Seven Seas Cruising Association, and this is our cruising station host Caribbean fall of 2023. We'll be starting with the Dominican Republic. I will start the screen sharing, and I'm bringing the viewers. This is Seven Seas Cruising Association, SSCA, and we're presenting the cruising station host of the Caribbean for fall 2023. We have several invited participants. We're starting with Dominican Republic with Denise Simpson and Kathy McCall de Garcia. They are on the screens right now. I'm expecting others to join.
Hi there, Joan, and welcome everyone. And hold on a moment. Are we on?
Yes, you're on. Just a moment. Let's let some of the invitees come
Okay.
in. It takes a minute. We'll let that build, and then I'll drop this slide down, and we'll go for the next presentation. The next slide here.
You're not on screen.
How do we get on screen?
I think she did it.
Okay. Just a minute.
Mm.
This presentation is being live streamed to YouTube. There is an SSCA YouTube channel, and you'll be able to view the finished product on that channel or any of the other free webinars that we put up that's for instructions. And I'm going to drop the share right now. And I'm coming up. I see Cathay, you're on the system. We have 11 building up. We're getting more and more people in. Let's see if I'm going to check and see if there's some people that are coming in differently. I see Dick Marsh, who just gave a wonderful presentation. He just crossed the Atlantic for his first time. I see Bill Woodruff. I think Bill is probably, and I'm going to allow him to talk. I think Bill is probably coming in from and Amanda Spindell. Do we know Amanda?
I'm here.
Hi, Amanda. And we have Bill Woodruff. I'm going to allow him to talk. Amanda, I was trying to click on Bill and you came in, so you got into. I'm not sure where Bill is, but I'm recognizing him. We're coming in more and more. We're going to have probably a 20 some, and we're live streaming at the same time. And I'm expecting our host from Shelter Bay to come in, our host from Colombia to come in, and our host from Trinidad to come in, if they understand the time difference. Bill, can you hear us?
Yes, yeah, Joan, yeah, Bill, yeah, I'm in Trinidad, and there is no time difference here. Well, it's 7 o'clock here, so all is well.
Yeah, Jesse is supposed to come in, but if he doesn't, would you give a quick update for Trinidad situation?
Sure, yeah, I guess hopefully Jesse will be available.
Yes, and Antigua's Joe is supposed to come in if he can make the connection. We've got John Haley from Colombia. We have Juan Joe from Shelter Bay, and they've all checked in and said they were going to try to come in for this event. But having said that, and I'll give it another few minutes, then I'm going to turn it over, give another till 7:05. We'll give it another minute for more to come in, because there's more coming in. And I'm going to turn it over to our Dominican Republic host for Luperon is Cathay, and then we have Denise, who's in Luperon, but also doing the entire northern region, southern region, and east coast of the Dominican Republic. And she's going to give a short talk. And I think they're going to be sharing a screen. We've been experimenting with the screen shares. So Cathay, do you want us to start? And there is Denise.
Hi, everybody.
And Denise is in white, and Kathy is the blonde. So would you like to give a brief description of what's going on in Luperon this season and the coming season and what's going on? Okay.
Yeah, for sure. We've had a really mild, I've been here 14 years to start off. I sailed in here 14 years ago and I own a property right on the bay. So I know exactly what's going on out there. And it has been incredibly mild. We've had really no issues. Even the one that came up on the south and came across, we didn't even get rain. So we're going through a dry spell. It's about 88 degrees, feels like 104, but it's calm, it's peaceful. And we have about 100, Denise,
40 boats.
140 boats in the harbor this season. Yeah,
Very busy.
it's been busy, and yeah, it's been a good season so far. And there's lots to do here once you're here, so that's always nice as well. There's a lot of waterfalls and tourist attractions to get involved in. But we work really close with the cruisers, and we do as many social things and to help out. So it's fun. It's fun.
Shopping trips.
Yeah, I run an SSCA shopping trip right now because they're getting ready to go. They're heading down to Trinidad and Grenada and Puerto Rico, and some are going up to the Bahamas and then down to Panama. So they're getting ready to move on as well. And so I run a shopping trip because Luperon is a very small, beautiful little country village. It's a fishing village and farming village. So there's not a lot of huge shopping, but we do have a Price Mart in Santiago. So I do a shopping trip there. And then we have two very large department stores in Puerto Plata. So we run that weekly right now, and it's busy and the cruisers are loving it. So it's nice for them to be able to get out and go shopping while they're provisioning to head on.
Can you tell me, Kathy, which some are going to Bahamas, some are going to Trinidad? Are they listening, do you think, on this webinar? Because I have Bill and I think Jesse's supposed to come join us too on the webinar.
No, unfortunately, they're not, because I didn't know until almost last minute that this was happening tonight. But they are going to Bahamas, Panama, Puerto Rico, St. Martin, Trinidad, and Grenada. That's where they're shooting for that end next year.
So you could probably put them in contact with Jesse.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'll share this webinar too.
Okay.
Let them know about that. And then, as you know, we're having ours next month. So if he wants to join in on that one as well, I'll have them in my house, and a lot of them will be online as well. So if he wants to join us on November the 2nd, that would be really great. Catch them before they're leaving.
Okay, I'll pass that word on. So if there's someone who wants to take your shopping bus to Puerto Plata, how do they do that? What time and date? What happens?
Well, I run a WhatsApp page for it, and it's SSCA shopping trip, and they all sign into it, and then they pick up the bus at, depending on where they're going. Yesterday we went to SSCA. That's 2 hours there and 2 hours back. So that trip started at 9:30. Regularly, when we just go into Puerto Plata, we start at 10:30. And then we go straight to lunch because nobody wants to shop on an empty stomach. So we do lunch at one of my favorite places that's reasonably priced, right on the beach, really comfortable. So we have lunch there, and then we go to Jumbo and we go to La Serena. Generally, so they have an hour. We say an hour, but it's an hour and a half. And then we go to the next store, which is about 15 minutes away. And they have an hour and a half there, and then it's an hour and a half right back. So that's more or less the itinerary. And then, of course, we go to different restaurants based on what their interests are. So I ask them, and then I call a restaurant and say, I'm bringing generally 8 people each trip is what we have.
And the day again?
It was always a Wednesday.
Always a Wednesday, and
Always a Wednesday.
join the WhatsApp group so they can find that. Do you have any suggestions about people coming into the Bay as far as customs? Any changes coming up, or the same? You come in, go to the dock. Can you outline that quickly?
I'm going to pass you over to Denise for that, because she's looking at, because it's federal, the rules are federal, and Denise looks after the whole island. So she's more up to date on the day-to-day basis. So I'm going to put you over to Denise. Come on over, girl.
Now, Denise Simpson is in Luperon, but she is also the regional host for Dominican Republic and keeping an eye on Samana and Puerto Cristo and all the other ports areas coming in and happily getting us new hosts. I'm going to turn my speaker off and turn it over to Denise Simpson.
Hi there. Thanks, Joan, and welcome from Lupron, where I sailed in after being in the Grenada for 9 years. So I've been in Lupron now for 4 years with my daughter, and she's now 21 and lives on board with me. And when we arrived in Dominican Republic 4 years ago, I realized there was a huge need for information, current information on this island. It's very big, and I cover it from Manzanillo on the west coast all the way around to the southwest coast of Pedernales, border to border. And I started the Dominican Republic Cruisers and Boaters Facebook group, and we have amazing information. We have an Armada captain on our group, so he's admin, and he assists me with the Armada procedures, and he's been a wealth of information, and I assist them with the Armada regattas down on the south coast. So it's like we help each other. And the group has just grown from strength to strength, and I have learned so much information which I can pass on. What I do is I'm the contact person. A lot of people contact me via Starlink or email prior to arrival, and I inform them of all the official process of arriving, the costs and everything, which are very reasonable. Dominican Republic gives your boat 3 years upon arrival, and 3 months, I should say, not years, 3 months. And as tourists, we can stay as long as we want. So I know all the animal procedures, I know everything. So people are welcome to reach out to me, and I help them with that. I also deal with all of the marinas and try and bring them on board as SSCA. And we have Marina Puerto Bahia in Samaná, Ocean World. Puerto Bahia gives excellent discounts to SSCA members off their winter rates, and Ocean World gives an all year round excellent deal on 2 weeks plus. And I'm based out of Puerto Blanca Marina here in Lupron. The owner is overseas at the moment, so I'm busy trying to assist him with his rate structure and also discount structure for SSCA members, which benefits the members, because at the end of the day, we're all about the members as well. So that's what I do, and I can help with anything, where to get things fixed, where to haul out, and yeah, contacts all around the country. So I'm your go-to person with lots of knowledge.
Denise, usually you're using WhatsApp for communications. We have that up on the SSCA website, but you also run a couple very good groups in Facebook groups that talk about the Dominican Republic and what's going on. What is your key group? What is the name of your key Facebook group?
Dominican Republic Cruisers and Boaters.
Okay. Do you have any thoughts about how check-in works for customs? Would you just walk through coming in the bay, what they do, where they go for checking in?
Okay, what I've done in the past, and I probably will be involved in again from the next intake, is that people contact me prior to arrival. I give you navigational warnings. I bring you into the bay. Like my friends came in the other night and I put them in pins on anchorage to anchor because it was too dark to come inside. And then I contact the Armada and I let them know you're here. And if you need to go down to see them, or if they come out to you, generally they come out to you when you've come from another country. With the boats that are transiting the coastline, then it's not such a big of a deal. Every time you transit in DR, you need to see the Armada and get a dispatcher, and it's a port-to-port dispatcher. And like I said, on check-in, you get 3 months.
And a dispatcho is like a Zarpe in other countries. Is that about the same thing?
Yes, that's correct. And it's free of charge. And it's a great way to meet the Armada and chat with them and socialize with them. And also a very good point for coming into DR is we do not need a Zarpe from another country. A current cruising permit will let you into the Dominican Republic, say from Bahamas.
So a cruising permit that you've had in the Bahamas, even if you didn't check out of the Bahamas, you can still get entries into the Dominican Republic and Luperon, correct?
That's correct. We're very easy here, and a lot of boats come from Puerto Rico as well, and they process them down in Samana with no problems.
Okay, can you talk a bit about the weather right now, what you're seeing with weather?
Weather-wise, it's been a very dry and hot season here in the rest of the Caribbean. I'm here in Grenada, where I spent 9 years, is up much higher than us, so I should be grateful. Apart from that, it's been very calm. The weather, we had that one scare with the storm coming across, but there was hardly any rain or wind or anything. It was like less than the normal trade winds, because the trade winds can accelerate through the entrance. So if you're out by the channel, if you're on a mooring, that's one thing. But if you're on anchor, it's mud and silt, so you can drag. It can get up to 25, 30 knots with the trade winds. So this has been a very calm year, very calm.
Now, people coming from, say, the Bahamas that would check in, they can go, what's the first port they go to that they can check in on the north coast?
Okay, the first port from Bahamas would be, the best one would be Luperon. If they go further west and arrive in Monte Cristi, they can let them know, and they put you in a car and they take you up to Manzanillo, I believe, by the border, and they do the paperwork up there. People coming down through Great Antigua, they can check in at Manzanillo on the border on the west coast. And otherwise, the Luperon is the easiest, and even easier is Ocean World Marina, because the process there is much faster. Luperon can be a little bit delayed. My friends came in here 2 days ago, and he said, wow, he was here for years in Luperon, and he said, what a change. Immigration was amazing. The lady was so nice. They came straight from St. Martin.
Now, quick question. You can check in and out at Ocean World. You can check in and out at Samana at Puerto Bahia Marina. And they all have shops right there at those two locations, correct? Custom shops.
Yeah, they do. They have all the officials on site there, and they're very efficient, and they speak English. It's a much faster process, and they get everything done in the 2 big marinas. Then they both have shopping shuttles that run free of charge. I believe Puerto Bahia may be doing free of charge as well, to take people into town and everything. And they're very helpful. And failing, if they can't answer your question, they contact me. And I usually have somebody around the country who can figure something out.
So fuel. You can get pumped fuel from Ocean World. Can you get pumped? Where else can you get fuel? Do you find fuel pumps?
Okay. The only ones are Ocean World and Marina Puerto Bahia. Puerto Bahia does market price and they have a nice little fuel dock. A lot of people go there. Again, the Samanar anchorage, it's a very nice anchorage, but there's limited dinghy landing area. So a lot of people are tying on to the day sailor boats and they are basically beaching or whatever and trying to find fuel. So a lot of people go to Marina Puerto Bahia for fuel. And of course, that's a lovely situation there. It's a beautiful marina like Ocean World. And Lupron, we're still in Jerry Jugs. And it seems there is a permit coming soon for a fuel dock. But again, we have to wait for it. So hopefully by December, January, it will be up and running. Otherwise, it's Jerry Jugs by our harbor contractors, Andy and Papo and Domingo, and they bring it out to your boat. Or you can jerry jug it yourself from the fuel dock, from the fuel stations.
Does anyone have questions? I know Dick Marsh, I recognized him, is looking at places to go in the Caribbean. He just did a transatlantic, so really is figuring out where he wants to go next. Dick, do you have any questions for Denise at all? I put him on the spot. That's okay. Okay. Do you have any other thoughts, Denise? And I'm going to turn it over to Bill Woodruff because unfortunately I don't see Jesse yet. And I know that Sterile Bay is coming in and so is Colombia. They're just having a bit of problems with their internet right now.
Okay, just to briefly finish off, Dominican Republic is very affordable. It grows a lot of fruit and vegetable. It's a very affordable place to come. It's very varied. It's a huge country. And you can go from desert to tropical. Very friendly local people. Exceptionally, I'm hearing very good reports from cruisers who break down in the bush and the families come and help and the grandmother and have tea with everyone. They're very nice people here. And English and Spanish is not always a problem. We all use Translate and we get by. And if you go into Puerto Plata and Samanar, it's English through and through. And a lot of Lupron as well. The officials are English speaking. We have interpreters with the officials. So that helps a lot. And I think Kathy just wants to close with something quickly.
Okay, Kathy?
Thanks, hon. Okay, I also wanted to mention that in my private home, I also have 2 slips. One's a cat slip and one's a money hall, single hall slip. So I have 2 slips. And I do offer for SSCA members 2 nights free when they come to stay, as long as I have the availability. Generally, I'm booked, though, for hurricane season. This year, I'm actually booked for next year. But if you're transiting through in the fall, from December until May, generally it's a good chance that I might have space for you. So I do offer that through for SSCA members. And when you do come to my dock, you come right to my dock and I bring the authorities here to check you in and on your original check-in. And then you do have to go into town, which I will organize a moto taxi, which is a little 3-wheel cute little vehicle that we run around in here. They're really cute, 100 pesos, which is what, $2?
Yeah.
So it'll take you there. Yeah, so I just wanted to put that out there, and that's in my private home. Anyway, Lupron's great. If you have any questions, like I said earlier, I did sail in here 14 years ago. I've been coming to this island since I was a child. I'm not doing the math, and I absolutely love it. And I'm only too happy to share any questions about local life or being here or things to see, things to do. And if I can help you in any way, such as this, the shopping program I put together, there was a need for it, so I did it. So if I can help, and thank you for the opportunity to introduce myself, and fair winds and calm seas. Thanks.
Well, thanks to both of you. And I'm assuming that if people have questions on maybe a political situation, or if they hear anything that they want to get further information on, they can email you or WhatsApp you. And
Absolutely.
For an
And
update.
we call it straight. We don't have to like it. We call it straight.
Okay.
I know I'm involved because I do have a waterfront property in a marine environment with a dock. So I am involved with a lot of the new developments that are coming up. And for me, they are really, really exciting. And it's going to bring Lupron up a notch and make it more friendly, quicker check-ins. There's so many things that they're working on. And again, because I do have marine property on the water, I am heavily involved in the community and the politics. And I know that they have allotted a huge amount of money. There's 25 million American dollars that have been put in by the government, and it's been matched by 3 or 4 different private companies. One is probably the wealthiest man that loves his country and does a lot of charity work, and he's a Dominican. So there are a lot of really exciting new changes and opportunities coming up. So stay tuned, and I wish it would happen faster, but I've lived here a long time. But the heart's in the right place. The ideas are all about increasing nautical tourism, and I think they're heading to a really wonderful place, and it'll be great for everyone. It is a little slower, like Denise said, for checking and that type of thing, but either one of us are available to contact for really anything. Denise has rescued people out in the middle of the ocean because they lost their masks. Like, we are available to help wherever we can.
Birdwatch in the Armada.
Right, exactly. And I speak a little bit of Spanish. Shamefully, I should be bilingual after all the years I've been here, but I'm not. But I do get by, and translators work well. The Dominican people are heartfelt, wonderful. They'll bring you into your home, and if they got a bowl of rice or chicken, they're just going to share it with you. So the community, and again, being in a small fishing village and farming village, it does have this little bit of downside, like when you want to go shopping and find something, that's a little hard. But day-to-day life is absolutely wonderful, which is why I chose to make this my retirement home after sailing for 25 years. So again, we're both
thank you.
Thank you so much, Joan.
Thank you very much. I'm going to mute you guys. I can see you have a little friend there.
Oh,
You can also see your little friend. Bill, would you be able to take over for Jesse for a bit?
Sure. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Can you see me, I guess?
No, but we can hear you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is Bill on Kalunamoo. We're down here in Trinidad. Yeah, Jesse James is the port director and port host for SSCA. He's also for OCC. And yeah, it's a big community cruising, especially during the hurricane season, because as you know, Trinidad is definitely out of the hurricane belt. And as was mentioned before, actually this summer has been very dry and hot. It's been very hot. Which is not unusual. Well, it's sort of unusual. You usually get rain every day or something, but it's been days without rain. So that is the weather report from here. Right now, I'm sitting. This is Thursday night. I'm at Powerboats, which is one of the big boat yards here between Powerboats and Peaks, and it's Thursday night barbecue night where cruises get together for a potluck barbecue at 6 o'clock. So they're still here. I'm just on the outside of it, and it's a cruisers community. What's interesting about here is that there's not that many charter boats, so it's all real dedicated world-around cruises. They come from South Africa and around all sorts of places. And Trinidad is historically known as the place to get your boat fixed and storage for hurricane season. And that's certainly why we're here. And we had a lot of work done this year, and really pleased with the work over the summer. One of the things, talking about belt work, one of the things that what's good here is that you can fly in, like we would go back to New York for a month or so in the summer and bring boat parts back. And there's absolutely no duty or taxes on it when you bring boat parts in. And the boat parts are kind of it's a broad category. Anything that you put on a boat I brought out a keyboard and things like that, and was on a boat. And he says, okay, so it goes on a boat, it's boat parts, and so there's no duty. So that's one of the good things down here. But all in all, like I said, Jesse James does do shopping trips. He does tours. We're going to be doing a tour probably in another week or two with him. And it's like I said, we've been down here for a number of years, and we really enjoy it. So I guess I'm just filling in here. So if you have any questions, I guess direct me, and I'll try to answer them, Joan.
Okay,
Joan, are you
thank
still
you,
in?
Bill. Yes, thank you, Bill. Bill is on an absolutely beautiful catch called Kalunamoo with his beautiful bride. And they have been up and down the Eastern Caribbean. I just heard about a fire that was in Antigua. I was hoping that Joe can come on. It was AV Marina dockyard, part of their buildings burnt down.
Yes, we heard about that too. In fact, there's videos of it too. It's the Atlantic Antigua Yacht Club. It's not the yacht club building itself, but it's a building on the water which held a couple of bars and other things that was totally destroyed apparently in the storm that came through Felipe hurricane or tropical storm that came through a couple of days ago. Didn't affect us down here at all, but up there it went over Barbuda, which is right outside Antigua. And not too much wind, but a lot of rain and a lot of thunderstorms. And apparently, according to first reports, it was a lightning strike that hit it and just engulfed that whole building. But Antigua is pretty big, and that was in Falmouth. You have English Harbor. I know the Salty Dogs are coming down in November, and I talked to Bob Osborne the other day, and he says it doesn't affect them at all. Because they don't really have anything officially. They do have something at the Antigua Yacht Club, but other than that, no boats were involved. So and nobody was hurt or anything else. It happened at night, I guess. So that's all I know about that. And but it is a shame because it was a nice place, dinghy dock there too.
Just curious, what is the water situation down there in Trinidad? I know that there's been problems in Panama with the Panama Canal, which may be getting solved if they're getting some rain, but some of the areas have been very dry. Are you with any water issues there?
No, not at all. Yeah, Trinidad is a big island. It's obviously the biggest island in the, it's about, maybe half the size of Puerto Rico or something like that. So it's a very large island. And it does have mountains on one coast, and does get a lot of rain normally. In fact, it's usually flash flooding is more of a problem than running out of water. So that is not a problem. In fact, the boatyard here in this area, Chaguaramas, they have their own wells also. So yeah, it's as far as drinkable water or anything else, it's great water, and no problem in that regard, Joan.
Are there any changes to the customs, the entry processes, or anything this year?
No, not really. Of course, the pandemic restrictions were off. This is the second year that Trinidad has been open after pandemic. As you know, Trinidad was actually closed. And so they're back. And last year we were here, it was, I wouldn't say empty, but it was less busy than this year. This year they're pretty busy. Everybody's coming back. As far as customs, immigration, it's the same thing. You just come in and normal procedures, you proceed to customs. And one thing everybody knows about it, there's paperwork here. I mean, they keep saying they're going to go on sale clear or something else, but unfortunately, it's still a lot of paperwork, and they still use carbon paper. So other than that, it's paperwork, but there's no cost unless you're coming in overtime. But normally you come in between 8 and 5 or something like that, and there's no overtime charges at all. So, but generally, you come in custom, you go to immigration first, check in, they'll give you all the paperwork, you fill it out, then you go over to customs and do the same thing. So it's fairly straightforward. it may take you a bit because there is a lot of paperwork, and at the end of the day, you look like you're filling out the same information on multiple pieces of paper, but that's the way it is.
Bill, have they tried to do any online check-in systems yet, like Easy Clear or anything that some of the other countries are doing?
Well, probably Jesse James would they're certainly working on it. They know about the issue, and Jesse promises, I mean, on last 3 years, oh yes, they're going to get Sail Clear, I think, or Easy Clear, one of those. But we're still waiting. We're still waiting. One of the things, you know, as I said, Trinidad is a industrialized country, as opposed to the other East Caribbean islands, where most of the other East Caribbean islands they're tourist-based, including cruises and things like that. Here, it's an industrial. Their main economy is you know, is oil and gas, like Venezuela, and so tourism is. They certainly have great places to go to for tourists. But they don't really concentrate on that. And that extends down, I think, into the paperwork as far as customs and things like that. It's almost like a commercial paperwork that they insist that everybody does. So I think that may be the little hang up, but they're working on it, and hopefully they'll get to it someday.
That's interesting, Bill. I'm hoping they do. Now, Dominican Republic has implemented an online system, but only if you have a navigation permit. So when you first come in, you're not going to be able to use their online system until you get through some of the paperwork, and then you can start using it. I believe that's right, isn't it, Kathy?
There, Joan. Yes, that's correct. Check-in gives you 3 months, then to continue navigating around DR, you apply for a 6-month navigational permit, and you can tootle around all around the island.
And we have, Bill, they've got boats that are starting to head south. I think they're using the Mona Passage to the southern coast of Puerto Rico, maybe stopping in Boca Raton and going around Cabo Rojo, and then in towards Ponce or to Salinas, and then maybe to the east coast into Marina del Rey, or maybe stopping in Libra. They do use Rome to check into Puerto Rico. And then, of course, they check into Virgin Islands, American Virgin Islands with Rome. And British Virgin Islands, you check in as you either at you can check in at either of the two. Well, there's several check-in places, but I'm not covering the British Virgin Islands tonight. I am waiting for Jesse James to come in, and I have been promised that here comes Shelter Bay just in time. And Bill, thank you very much. Hopefully Jesse will come in as soon as he gets to his house through traffic, and he'll continue.
Okay, very good.
And thank you
All
very
right,
much. And here we have Shelter Bay Marina. Juanjo.
Hey, how you doing? How's everybody
Hello.
doing? All good?
And that's Panama. I can see you're in a car or a boat.
I'm in my car on my way to my house. As soon as I get to the house, I got a split. So I got like 15 minutes. I just
Okay.
got to the city.
That's fine. What we're asking is anything changing with customs, anything changing that's important with Panama Canal timing for boats, because everybody hears rumors, like no one's got water, that kind of thing. I think small boats are doing fine.
we got an update. We got an update today from the Panama Canal. They were crossing 38 boats like 4 months ago. That got reduced to 36 crossings per day. 3 months ago, 1 month ago, it got reduced to 32. And in November, they're only going to be doing 30 crossings per day. The issue with that and how that affects the smaller boats is that usually they do a nesting of 3 vessels, and those 3 vessels go behind one of these cargo ships. So the less cargo ships are crossing, the less small vessels are going to be crossing. So they are saying that crossings could go from 2 weeks, which was typical on the high season, up to 4 weeks on wait time to cross the canal. if their issue doesn't get resolved soon. The lake today, it was at 80 feet, which is 7 feet than at the same time of last year, which was 87 feet. So yeah, we have an issue with water at the moment.
So for boats coming in, they come to Shelter Bay. Anything special with customs right now that you know of?
No, customs, same as it has been the last couple of months, maybe year. US and Canadians, they're getting 6-month visa, and any other citizen or nationality is getting 3 months. The cruising permit is required to do your SARPE. That's still $185 per year, but it's valid from your date of arrival until the date of your expiration date on the vessel document. So let's say your vessel documents expires in November 30 and you get in today, you're gonna get a cruising permit that is gonna be valid for only 2 months. So that's what the law says, and they started applying that last year. So yeah, it's been kind of an issue if you're gonna be long-term in Panama and you get just a 2-month cruising permit and have to renew again.
Do you have that on your website, the instructions?
I'm not sure if I have it on the website, but I'll check when I get back to the marina tomorrow. I do have it on the email I sent to the customers when they're making a reservation.
Okay,
So all of that is provided beforehand.
so if they're coming to you, you can send them the information for check-in or whatever is necessary. And you are
See,
coming
we
up
still
the,
have the immigration.
yeah,
We still have the immigration officer at the marina as well as the port captain. So all arriving procedures can be done in the marina upon arrival.
what about the visas? That should be done ahead of time, right?
No, there's basically no special visa required unless you are from specific
Okay, okay.
countries, but we haven't had a visa issue with nobody.
And how has the weather been there? It's been dry, wet, or different?
It had been raining for up to the last 2 weeks. The last 2 weeks have been like summer days, windy, sunny, hot. But we do expect a lot of rain the last 2 weeks of October and the whole month of November. Yeah, but we had a very strong rainy season and it just kind of died like 2 weeks ago. And we are just in beautiful sunny summer days.
And you're coming up for the Annapolis Boat Show. We'll see you up there.
Yes, I'll be there. I'm flying to Boston on Sunday. Gonna hang out with my kids over there. Then I'm taking a train to Annapolis on Wednesday. We'll be setting up the booth, and then I'll be roaming around the show. I'll hang around your booth for a while. But yeah, that's the plan. I missed it last year for parenting reasons, but I'll be back this year. Looking forward to being there.
Yes, in case anybody didn't know, you have a beautiful baby girl.
Yes, I just got a new baby girl. My best friends told me if I just became a granddad, I tell them, no, man, I just became a dad again. Piper
So-
Sophia, she's gonna be 1 month old next week. I mean, the week after the boat show.
Yeah, and she is
So,
walking.
yeah.
She's walking.
She's walking. She's getting down from the bed on her own. She almost stepped out of the crib last night. So I think I'm in for a treat with this one.
And your older ones are out of the nest.
Yes, my son is 25 and lives in Boston, and my daughter is 21 and she also lives in Boston. So I'll see them, trying to convince them to join me to the Annapolis trip. We'll see if
Well,
they
was-
can get some days off from work and be there with me.
We'll see you in Annapolis, and thank you for the update.
For
Again,
sure.
people that need to get updates, I think send notes to him ahead of time if you're planning to go to Panama, because that's going to be very important to know the timing, especially if they're cutting down the number of boats. Let's just hope it rains a lot and fills the lake up. Yeah,
Yeah, we're hoping that we get this usually October and December and November we get a lot of rain. So we're hoping for that so the levels start getting up and we can do more crossing. You know, I have the arc arriving the last week of January, And then I have the oyster arriving on February 10. If by any chance I get some delays on the arc on the crossings, I'm going to have a tough time trying to fit everybody in, specifically with the rallies arriving on the high season.
I don't envy you your fun job.
It's like playing Tetris. I'm pretty good at
Yes.
it, so I'll make it happen.
Well, come to our booth, and Jimmy Cornell's going to be there. He's probably going to wander over to be where you are, but he'll be there. I've got chairs for him. We've got it scheduled for his flight in from the getting from the airport to everywhere. So he will be a fixture there at the boat show. Anything
Okay,
you have,
perfect.
any advice you have for others, and then I'll turn it over to Jesse.
No, whoever's, if you know somebody heading this way or know somebody with whatever issue they might be having while on this area, feel free to provide them my contact info. We'll be more than happy to assist any way we can here in Panama or on their way to Panama. So yeah, I'm just an extension of you guys here in the country and all throughout the Caribbean.
Yeah, we were trying to get John Haley in from Colombia, but it looks like he's not able to come in. So I'm going to turn this over to Jesse James, who is in Trinidad and very ably
Okay.
assisted by Bill Woodruff. And I'll turn it over to Jesse.
Hi, Joan. Hi, everybody. I'm so sorry I'm late because I was trying to do it like the last speaker. I'm sorry, on my phone, but I was out and I just came in and I just couldn't get hooked up on my cell phone. So sorry for being late.
So Jesse, since this is the start of the season, really, hurricane season's almost over. Boats are getting ready to get back in the water or in the water, going places, or starting to go from north to south if they're going to stage for Panama or something. Oops. What are you telling people that are planning to go through? What's going on with customs? I guess there's no changes since that COVID ended. You still don't have automatic online check-ins yet, but Bill explained that will be coming.
Right. Yeah. And hey, Bill, I really appreciate it. You stepping in and sorry for putting you under that pressure of facing all the questions and things. But Bill has a good idea. Bill and Maureen has a good idea what's going on. But yeah, to leave Trindad is actually pretty normal and pretty easy. The only thing that really is still in place is the arrival procedures. So like I said, the season's coming to end pretty soon and people are going to be splashing and going into water to head north. So it's what we're trying to encourage people to do is to continue to file a float plan, and it's very, very simple and it takes just a couple minutes. And this has been a ongoing working relationship with our Coast Guard here. And it's just, it's just a nice way to inform them that, hey, we live in Trinidad, we're en route to Grenada or wherever, and it has your name of your boat and basic information, size, color, and so on. And if you have AIS, keep your AIS on. And there's all sorts of perception outside there about what happens in the water between Trinidad and Grenada. But we haven't had any issues over here for many years now. And so when you're leaving, well, check out, and we encourage people to, if you have AIS, to keep it on. If you have your nav lights, it's sailing at night to head north to arrive in Grenada daytime, keep your nav lights on and so on. We also have a very good working relationship with the North Post radio station, and North Post, they are up on the north, on the northern side. So you leave Chagaramas and you go around onto the North Coast side, and there's up in the mountains, there's the North Post radio station, and they actually have good on your VHF. They have good communication. You can reach all past Grenada, going for up north. They can reach you sometimes, right? You may be able to hear them, but sometimes transmitting to them because of on the yacht you're a little bit far away, can't reach them. But so we encourage people to keep filing the float plan if you're going to Grenada or wherever, and then when you arrive in Grenada, just send a little note. Hey, we arrived safely in Grenada, and that's just an informal way of closing it off. And I've actually been at the North Post radio station and seen the operation over there. They have this huge I mean, this huge screen with AIS. And when I saw that, I'm like, man, you have all those boats outside here. It literally is like traffic crossing the Atlantic. I mean, the Atlantic is big, but when you see all these dots and pinks and yellows and all kind of things, I'm like, all of these boats outside here. Yes, it's very crowded outside here, people. So you're not alone outside there. So they, they have all these systems up there. They have a system called the PAT system. And I've done it many times where, you just check in with cruisers, people leaving Trinidad or they come in Trinidad and they check in with North Post. I could actually call North Post radio station. They call you all on the VHF channel 16, that they monitor, and they'll patch me through. And on my cell phone, I'll be able to talk to cruisers on their VHF on my cell phone, which is an amazing piece of equipment that they have up there. So, we have all this relationship that I've worked on over the years. And it's good relationships, and it's we encourage people to head north to file the float plan, keep things going. And up to I got a phone call, it was a week or two ago, from Coast Guard. The guys on the boats, they pulled up on this yacht, and the yacht didn't file a float plan, but I know who the person was. Bill, it was Susie with all these dogs and cats on board, and Susie, told the Coast Guard, well, yeah, just that I'm coming, but she didn't file the float plan, and so Coast Guard just called me to verify, hey, you expecting this yacht in Trinidad? I said, yes, of course. She has a bunch of cats and dogs on board. It's all legal. I have all the paperwork, but everything is set for them, and Susie was like, oh, Jesse, it was so nice to see them outside here, see Coast Guard there, see the boat pull up, these guys with, guns and everything else. It was a little bit intimidating, but it's nice and comforting to know that they are aware that you're out there and they're keeping an eyes out for you. Right, so, like I said, we continue to ask people to work with us. And Joan, what I want to, is an issue that it's underlining, and it's just right over there. And we've been trying to quietly tell people, hey, please do the right thing. And this is when it comes to arriving in Trinidad with pets on board. People are quietly coming in, and I know who they are because, eventually I find out. Somebody was trying to depart by a plane last week, and they called me and asked me to get the people for them to depart, but they didn't declare it upon arrival because it's a procedure. It takes some time, right? But once we do go through the procedures for arrivals with pets on board, it's very, it will be easy. It happens all the time, but some folks are going ahead and they're quietly not doing it. And I'm just hoping that, we're trying to get the word out for people to declare it and do the right thing upon, before you arrive and get the paperwork, so you won't have any issues. If they do find out about it, the government, they take it very seriously here, about arriving with pets and, getting the proper vaccinations and people working. So that's something Bruce and I on Wild Matilda, we just did an update on the procedures, and I'll be posting it. Maybe I should share it with you, Joan, so you can put it on the site so people can know the procedures for arriving with pets on board.
That would be good. We can put it out in the bulletin.
Yeah. I think so.
We can post it also on Facebook.
Yep.
Because that's important, and it isn't that difficult. We sail with a lot of dogs.
Yeah.
And 3 of them, we've gone everywhere, Cuba, whatever, but we go and get the U.S. export licenses and
correct
health certificates and get the titers done. You don't need titers for Trinidad, but I do titers just because it allows me to get to other country. Yeah. And you follow the rules on the country websites, and it's a safety issue because there's some nasty diseases your dogs can get. And if you have to take them to the vet and they aren't checked in, that's an automatic guarantee to have a dog put down.
Yep.
Yeah. So if you'll send that to me. Now, for those listening, Jesse James is the host of Trinidad, and you can find him at www. Jesse, say your website name.
All right, sorry, it's www.membersonlymaxitaxi.com. So membersonlymaxitaxi.com.
And what we'll do, we'll post that on Facebook. You send me that write-up, and we'll post it on Facebook, the forum, and try to get that word out. SSCA Facebook has about 15,000, 16,000 members now on that, so it gets the word out. And I will also send it to Denise, because that will help her. Now, float plans. You have float plans filed. How do they file for float plans?
Yeah, it's on my website.
Okay.
And you just go on the website, you see float plan, click on it. It's supposed to be, some devices might get a little problem in filling it online. So if you have any problems in trying to fill it in online, you just, print it, go to a little internet cafe or something, print it, scan it, send it back as a PDF or something, and we'll get it. And all the information, Coast Guard email, Maritime Services, North Post, everybody, it's on the float plan. So everything is right here. It's very simple, and I'm copied on it also, and we all get it.
And your website is membersonlymaxitaxi.com, right?
Yep.
So I just sent that to everybody. Take a look at the chat and make sure I did that right.
Members only Maxi Taxi. Yep, that's it. That's it, Joan. Yeah.
Yep.
And Joan, I can
I
talk.
know your
Sorry.
website by heart. If you have any other advice, you file a float plan, and that's sent to where? The government? You send it to the government, or how does it get?
Right. So on the float plan, there's the Coast Guard email address. There's Maritime Services email address. There's North Post radio station, and my email and YSAT email. So it's all listed right over there. So you just click on it, click and copy, and it's all listed right on the top of the float plan. And the information is very, very basic information. Actually, Joan, I've seen the US Coast Guard float plan that they have. Oh boy, that's a long piece of documents that you have to fill out for the US Coast Guard float plan. But this float plan is something that myself spearheaded a couple of years ago when we had some issues. So we sat down with Coast Guard and North Post, and we didn't want to make it difficult. We just wanted to make it very basic, simple. We just asked Coast Guard what y'all want, and they give us just, all you need to know, size of the boat, color, where you're coming from, ETA, ETD, kind of thing. So it's very, very simple. Right? And so Joan, there's actually a lot happening behind the scenes that we're doing at YSAT also. Like yesterday, I went to a launch with the Minister of Trade. There's all sorts of, the government we're working. I mean, we do have some issues with immigration and customs. Today, somebody arrived at the airport and they had to pay a fee, which I have to look into it and see what nationality it was, because, and across the globe, across the world, different nationalities, depends on the countries. And agreements with the various countries, they'll have to pay visa waivers and so on. So they had to pay at the airports. And but after reading, we have the Trinidad Cruises WhatsApp chat group, and when I was looking through it, and then I saw where they got 6 months at the airports, which usually when they come in, you get 3 months upon arrival, 90 days, right? And then after the 90 days, if you want an extension, you go to Port of Spain and they get the extension. But they got 6 months at the airport, and they pay the 400 TTs, which if that could be a standard operating procedures for cruises arriving via air or sea, and it gets that 6 months upon arrival, pay the fee one time. I think we can be happy and contented with that in Trinidad, because that will save cruisers after 3 months having to go and go get an appointment, trek to downtown to get the appointment, and you still have to pay the fees and everything. So if we could get that properly, set up here in Trinidad, that'll be fine. So there's a lot of work that we're doing in the background via YSAT with customs, immigration. We have a training program that the government just funded, and I went to the MOU signing yesterday, and between different training agencies here in Trinidad, and I used to train and certify a lot of the contractors here in Trinidad. And there's a shortfall of workers in the industry, so we're going to have training for welders, carpenters, boat riggers, or a whole bunch of the services that we offer here. So we're going to get a training program going, and yesterday was the signing of the MOU. So there's going to be this big training program for more people to get into the industry for the services, that when cruisers come down here, we have enough people to support the whole industry. Anyway, I could talk more and more, but questions?
Well, I think that it sounds like you're busy. It sounds like you're getting some things done. I'm looking forward to a write-up that we could put in the bulletin and post to Facebook. I think that would help. Do you have any other issues you can think of? Fuel, water, anything like that going on?
Issues. No fuel. What? Bill, I don't know if Bill can answer that, but I'm not aware of any issues along those lines.
No.
Right. But Joan, before well, one last thing. Pretty soon, I was trying really hard to get funding to come up to the GAM this year, but it just didn't happen this year. The funding was actually put towards rebranding of YSAT. So we actually going to have a name change. We're going to be changing from YSAT to MSAT. And MSAT will be the Marine Services Association of Trinidad and Tobago. And it's going to kind of encompass, more marine services within Chagarama. So we kind of get a little more stronger. So we will be having a name change probably in November. So that will be a big thing. We got some funding from the government. So we're going to have the Minister of Trade. We're going to have customs, immigration. We want to invite all these people and stakeholders. We're going to invite the consulates, embassies, and we're going to kind of make a big bang about it, and kind of sensitize people to the industry and the benefits of it to Trinidad. We have a problem in Trinidad in general right now with foreign currency, Forex, and let them be aware of how important this whole industry is in Trinidad. And so we're going to have a big bang with that, and I definitely will be highlighting SSCA, and so hopefully next year the funding will come through to come up to SSCA. I really would like to come next year.
Well,
Been
we'll
too
miss
long.
you, Jesse. We'll miss you, Jesse. We also would miss you at the Annapolis Boat Show because that's very well covered.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jesse. And I'm going to go over who's still on the screen here.
Yep.
There's Kathy McColder Garcia. I'm probably butchering your name, Kat. And there's Denise Simpson, Jesse James, and that is Dominican Republic. We have Jesse James with Trinidad, Bill Woodruff with Trinidad. Juan Joe from Shelter Bay just was on a short call and had to drop off. And now we have John Haley, who's representing Colombia.
Nice.
And I'm going to recognize John. Give us an update. We had an interesting update on Panama. They're cutting down the number of boats that are going to be going through, so the number of small boats are going to be cut back. He was talking 30 boats, so that's 30 times 3, so it really is going to impact a lot. But I'm going to turn that over to you, John, and let you talk about your area, what's going on there, and any things that seem of interest from your point of view that we should know.
Okay. Good hearing from you, Joe, and hello, everybody. And thank you for the update on Trinidad. I'm sure it was very important to a lot of people. Right, so Cartagena's got back to pre-COVID conditions, no requirement for vaccination certificates or anything really of that nature. Everything is pretty much back to normal. Also, the good news is the temporary importation is back to where it was before, i.e. when you come, you can get a 1-year temporary importation and very likely a further year if you wish to extend your stay. The downside at the moment is simply the lack of berths available, and it's a serious problem. I don't know whether the Club de Pesca are actually taking reservations, but we at Club Náutico are not, simply because there are just not enough temporary slips available for all the people that want them. It's really a little bit depressing to have to tell people they're almost certainly going to have to anchor for several days before a suitable slip becomes available. So, and there are it's just in part because the day tourism business has increased so much in Cartagena over the last 3 years, actually starting with the pandemic. And that is taken a lot of the marina slips away from visitors, which is kind of sad. There are things on the horizon, there are improvements. There's a new yard called Marina Portobello, which is a nice, well-prepped yard with a hangar and good solid drainage and not so dusty. But they still have problems of dredging the access to the yard. But a nice 150-ton travel lift, which will accommodate fairly large catamarans, I would say around about 62-foot catamarans. So that's a new addition. And in the medium term, they have plans to put in slips there, but that's going to be a couple of years away. Just very near to us is a marina that's had done quite a bit of development for Marina Santa La Cruz, but I really don't know when their new slips are going to come online. In the anchorage area, there's still space, although the space that's available is in deeper water, around about between 30 and 45 feet. Everything close to the shore is pretty congested. There is a new anchorage which has started really from the pandemic, it was designated to be the quarantine anchorage. That's now become an official anchorage where people can go to. It's a little bit more protected. It's much closer to the old city. And also the other positive news is that the Club de Pesca has opened up a dinghy dock, has had it open for over a year. And so that's a good option. And in fact, to be quite honest, most of the cruises are actually going there because they seem to have more possibilities of berthing than us at a little old Club Nadigo had. So there still continues to be the issue of having to use an agent. That's still the case. Unfortunately, the prices can vary, but we direct people to the most economical options because they also turn out, in my opinion, to be the better options. I think it's roughly speaking, it's around about $270 if you're going to be here for more than 2 weeks. If you're just going to turn around and be here for 3 or 4 days, then it'll be less than half of that. As I said, the temporary importation, if you wish to extend your stay or leave your boat here in the yard, that's going to work without hassle. During the pandemic, there were issues with the customs people that were initially giving people 3 months and having to extend and create a lot of nervousness. That's now over. We're back to where we were before, so people can relax. The issue also with the yards is they have limited amount of space. So I don't know whether if you wish to store your boat at the yard, you better call them in advance because not only are there a lack of slips, there's also few options to actually haul your boat out and leave it in the yard. I think that's where Shelter Bay still comes in strong. Sadly, the water shortage is causing problems down there. So there are some issues to deal with, but I mean, obviously the signs on the horizon with the new Marina Portobello, things are going to improve. The other option, if people really need to find a berth space or leave their boat somewhere over the Christmas period if they want to head off home for a few weeks, is to check out Portobello, which just passed Barranquilla, passing the Rio Magdalena. That's got quite a few possible positive reviews from the local cruisers recently. So I think it's certainly worth checking them out. And it's a more economical option. The downside is you're far away from everything and you'll probably need to rent a car or a motorcycle to be able to get anywhere. But they're developing nicely, so that's a good option. Anyhow, unless I'm listening to your questions from now on, I've said far too much. Hello, Joan, you still there?
Yes. I am having a bit of issues with my computer off and on. So customs is back to normal, the same procedures, probably they're in most of the guides now as, COVID's over. It's been
Absolutely.
a difficult time. You do have some water issues in some places, but in Cartagena, you don't have water issues, or do you?
Not at all,
No.
not at all. It's a much more nicer climate in some ways than Panama, certainly in the wet season.
Yeah.
But whatever. I mean, Panama has some wonderful places to go and cruise. Absolutely.
Well, they're a little bit dry. They're getting some water now, but Panama is a little bit dry right now.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that is because, I think that conservation issues as far as the canal are concerned are really critical. I don't think you'll find Panama particularly dry, not any time.
No, I think they used up all the water in their behind their dam is what I think but anyway, neither here nor there.
No,
it's
I wish them
unfortunate.
well, and you hope that it sorts itself out soon. It's really critical.
Yeah, it is pretty critical. as far as pets or anything like that, Jesse was talking that there were some people or some issues with people not checking their dogs and cats or pets in and out. Do you see anything happening there with that? I mean, you follow the rules, you're okay. If you don't,
I've hardly ever had a problem or found a problem with people arriving with animals. There is probably some, I have to check into this, but I'm sure there's some government stipulation about having a vaccination card and showing that and declaring it when you come in. But I see very, very few problems with that score. I think most of the agents can find a workaround, and certainly they'll go to enormous lengths to make sure that that's not a problem. I'll have to get back on what the actual legality is. I'm not too sure on that one.
you know, not everybody takes animals, but some do, and the ones that do are the ones that can find it difficult to figure out exactly how they're supposed to do. If they ever miss a port, or if they ever miss a vaccination or vaccination certificate, they've got problems. It's just, your animals.
I suspect the usual one is the rabies one, which is probably a good one to
do you have any questions for us? We're going to be up at the Annapolis Boat Show. I will be trying to show this video of descriptions and stuff there because people are very interested. Do you have any questions for us?
I wish I'd thought about that. I mean, off the top of my head, I can't, other than acknowledging you do a wonderful job, and it's great to have the community from the States and elsewhere, looking at us and talking to us and feeling at home. I think and of course, that's the bottom line, is if people are coming over this way, then there is a resource of people that are going to be helping and trying to get back to people with any questions they have. If they have anything specific, of course, call me and I'll investigate and try and get them a decent answer back. So that seems to be the wonderful thing of associations like the SSCA. I don't have any particular questions of the SSCA other than you're doing a great job.
Well, John, thank you. I hope you enjoy are you getting your bulletin in the mail?
Yes, I am.
and you like the format? There's a new format. If you notice, we have a new editor and we're adding more pictures and we're getting more things from every place. So I'm hoping you're enjoying that.
Yeah, you sure bet. I mean, I am also tinkering with websites and stuff, so I know how important it is the visual, the image, the information above all, and making it clear. And the visuals, yeah, great. It's good to see it, really.
Well, thank you for that. It's a labor of love. And Jesse, same for you. If you need to put anything in the bulletin or any of the Facebook pages, John, our Facebook page group is now about 16,000.
Whoa.
So if
there's an enormous increase in sailing. I mean, just generally, just look at the YouTube channels. And, it just seems to be just exploding. And that's one of the problems. The resources are trying to chase to keep up. And, so there's that issue to deal with. But I mean, it's great to see the enthusiasm everywhere.
Now, up at Annapolis this time, Jimmy Cornell is coming to visit.
We'll say hi to Jimmy.
I will say hi to Jimmy, and he will watch your video. He'll probably take a copy of this somewhere. He's shipping his books. He's got some books. His last book, I think, is going to be his last book. And some of his other books I've got, and I'll take that up to the booth for him, and we'll join him, and he'll be there for the 3 days of the event. We're at the Tent M booth 2 again, and we've got a new couple flags that I'll be sending out to you and others, cruising station host flags.
Thank you.
Denise got one, and it says official SSCA cruising host, and you can fly it as a flag so somebody knows that you are the point of contact. So we're very pleased.
I'll fly it on my boat on the top of the mast.
Okay. All right.
Very proud to do so.
I'm going to open it up to Denise, if you want to unmute, and Jesse unmute so you can say hello to each other. And Jesse, I'll let you say hi to Denise and Kathy, Kat, she goes by, and to John.
Hello.
Hey, John,
Hello,
how are you? Hey, we
How you
have a
doing?
people getting ready to head your way.
Great. When are you coming
Well,
this
you
way?
know, they come in here for hurricane season and then it's like a huge scatter. They go, well, what I'm hearing in your direction is the Bahamas and then down and some going to Jamaica and then Grand Cayman and then down. So I got a scatter going there and then I have a scatter coming down to Jesse James. It's
Great.
like from here, it's like hurricane season and it's like, whoa.
We're going to be gone
Like
in
a
a couple of
spider
weeks.
web. Everybody's
Oh,
going
Jesse.
everywhere. Jesse, they're coming
Yes.
to you, honey.
Nice,
Well,
thank
you
you.
Hi,
I mean,
Jessie.
It's
Hi.
nice to
sometimes
meet you. I've not
sometimes
met you.
sometimes people come down this part of the world because they're on their way to the Pacific, but there's really so much to sail and enjoy around here. And also, you know, if you're on the hook for a while, hey, big deal. You can enjoy Cartagena
Yeah.
on the hook inexpensively, so that will help people. And there's
Denise,
nearby places where you can, you know, go out to the islands just 4 or 5 hours away or less.
Beautiful.
Find a nice protected place. So
Nice.
look forward to your friends. And great to see you both. Which one's Caddy? Which one's Denise?
I'm Kathy or Kat. Yeah, everybody calls
I'm-
me Kat.
I'm Denise.
Well,
Yes.
you know, I say everybody
Hi,
calls me
Jesse.
Kat because when
Hi,
I
John.
got there, there was
Hi,
five
Denise. Hi,
Kathy.
Kathy.
You're all looking,
I
you're all
prefer
looking
Kathy.
incredibly well. At least you
Haven't
haven't
seen
got
you
any
for
older
many
from the last time I
years.
saw you.
Oh
Jessie.
boy. You know, Joan, I just wish I don't know if we could get a little clipping of this little part where Denise and Kat is saying and John is saying, oh, there's a spider web and there's so many people coming down to going to
Yeah,
John's
yeah.
first and then they're coming down to Trinidad and I need to show that to the government on a big screen
Right.
and let them see how
Well,
effective SSCA
yeah,
is.
I think I
Yeah,
can
yeah.
probably get you a cut out of a piece of the clip, just this part that talks about where people are going.
But
Yes.
they come in a Lupron from hurricane season and they
Right.
come in here from, I've been here 14 years. I sailed in 14
Whoa.
years ago.
Sure.
And they come in here and they're coming in from your way up here. And then they
Right.
come in here from the Bahamas and the States and they come in at all directions. And then
Yeah.
November comes and it's like, woof,
They-
woof.
they- they-
They're going everywhere. And so
Yes.
it's a real central point for regrouping. Where are we going next?
Yes.
It's pretty exciting. And I keep in
Yeah.
touch with them because I've been here so long. I keep in
Yeah.
touch with them when they go in both directions.
Right.
Yeah.
Lovely.
It's exciting. It's fun.
Yeah.
Now,
Great.
we're adding a new host for Grenada. That is Lynn and Ken Gooding are going to be Grenada hosts.
Right.
So that adds that little spot there.
Nice.
And I'm trying to get my St. Martin host again, but he's involved in marine research and he's been running some programs and I think he's just too busy. So, but we're trying slowly but surely to get more hosts at different places.
Right. Lovely. Hey,
So-
hey Joe. So just a little plug-in. I don't know if it'll happen before, but the government also we got some funding to do a video, like a promotional video on Chaguaramas itself, on yachting. And we did the dry runs, we did the held some meetings thing already, and the guys are going to start on it from Monday. I got a call today. The video with the guys, so they're going to come and be highlighting all the services of Chaguaramas and so on, and then the fun things to do also. So as soon as I get a clip, it'll be nice to have it at all the shows, and I can always send it to you so you can run it and play it. And have
Lovely.
it.
We are
Yeah.
only happy to help and jump in wherever. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yes.
John too.
So, and we'll all help each other too, because from hurricane season now, they start going different directions from here. So again, the family love, I just love it, Joan. It's just so nice.
But
Yeah.
Jesse, over the years, they ping pong back and forth between
Exactly.
Right.
Yep.
you and I.
Definitely.
And
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
do play.
We see them all here.
Yep. Yep. Denise, you all are so amazing up there. Oh
Well,
Very
boy.
right.
Thank you all very much. And it's close, it's probably over my time a little bit. Yeah,
Oh, look at
it's been a fun time. But John, thank you so much for coming from
Yes,
Colombia to
lovely,
talk.
John.
Jesse, you
Very
from
happy. Thank you.
Trinidad.
Thank
Bill
you.
just dropped off. Thank him very much for me, Jesse, would you?
Yes, for sure. For sure.
And Kat and Denise, thank you so much. And Juan, Joe,
Sharon, come
Thank you.
hope so. And John, hopefully we'll be able to see you sometime. Our boat's ready to our boat's splashed and ready to go. And hello, young lady. Hi.
So my wife Sharon Rose,
This is
Denise,
Sharon.
and Kat and
Hi
John.
there.
Everybody says hi. Well, we do have fun together,
Pleasure.
even if we don't get together
Yes,
very often.
yes.
So I want to thank you guys very much. And I'm going to sign off unless I don't see any more questions. I did have one question, and he wanted the address or the email for Shelter Bay, so I gave him that. And we're still streaming live stream. So as soon as I sign out, we will go say fair winds and following seas. And we will see you all at least probably in about 2 months when the season gets started, or maybe sooner.
Yep.
And expect a flag coming and a package in the mail. Okay?
All right.
All right.
Thank
Hey,
Thank you.
John, thank you so much. And
Take care. All right.
Nice to see
And
Take
everybody.
care. Bye, John. Bye,
And
Kathy.
the person
Bye,
listening
Denise.
here, Dick
Bye,
is
Joan.
probably coming your direction. So just